How come Jewish people, like the two nice Jewish boys and people like that, how can they believe in the Messiah? How can they believe that Jesus is Christ? Well, because the veil is taken away. That's the only way. And they admit that their works are nothing, and they're filthy rags. I mean, now you have a zeal, but it's not according to righteousness, though. You got a zeal, but it's not a godly zeal, though. I mean, even Paul says it, I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, you don't believe in the Messiah because you don't want to admit that you're a sinner. You want to admit that you're a rabbi and want to be called rabbi, but you must not be called rabbi. There is only one rabbi, okay? Okay? You're all brothers. That's what Jesus said. And that's why you hated him, some of you, and put him to death. But he cannot be held by death, though, because he's the Messiah. He has to come the second time. They shall see him who they have pierced. You going to take that away from the Bible too? Okay? Now I know that the Alma, right? Okay? The young girl, is, that she was going to have a child. But I mean, it's the Jewish scholars that translated Alma into Parthemos, okay, and made it virgin, okay, because they knew that there was a sign going on here, though. This is the deal about Alma, though. There was a sign. Well, what's the sign? It's not a great sign if any girl is going to conceive. What's the big deal? Now, that was a miracle of life, but what's the big deal, though? That a virgin shall conceive. I mean, that a young girl shall conceive. I mean, what's the big deal about that? Well, the Jewish people, okay, who 6 from each tribe, though. Who made the Septuagint? Septuagint comes from the Latin word Septuaginta, which means 70. Why? Well, 72 Jewish scholars, okay, translated the Jewish scriptures into Greek. Why? Because of Ptolemy Philadelphus, okay, king of Alexandria, Egypt, commissioned that project. He wanted that done. And the priest notified each tribe of the tribe of Israel, Dan, Naphtali. So 6 scribes came from each tribe to translate the Septuagint. So don't blame us, okay, Christians, for saying that the Alma is a virgin. You're the one, okay, you Jewish people are the ones who translated that into Parthemos. Not us. Matthew used it in Matthew, what we know is Matthew 1, 23. Matthew 21, 121. Not us. We didn't translate into Parthemos. Okay, it was you guys. And then you complain that we're trying to do this and we're trying to do that and we're trying to say she's a virgin. Well, you're the one you're the one who taught that she's a virgin, though. You see, the Jewish people taught that, okay, that the young girl, okay, the Alma, was a virgin because you translated it into Parthemos. Why didn't you use another word? Okay, could have used another word. Could have used young girl. Now, it does mean that in Hebrew, but they knew what was going on here. These Jewish scholars, okay? They knew that this was a sign, this was a miracle that was going to take place, though. Okay, there was a miracle going on here, okay? It was like and again, all right, you have the example of life coming from death, from the deadness of Sarah's womb and the oldness of Abraham, okay? You have the virgin birth right there, really, to just giving a picture of it. You have a dead womb, okay, and Abraham being very old, even though Abraham begot children after that, after Sarah's death. Okay, you see that around chapter 25, chapter 26 of Genesis. But you see very clearly, okay, that God just wants to come to you to the level of understanding and tell you, listen, I'm giving you so many pageants in Genesis. You have no kick coming to you at all. Like John Sterling likes to say, no kick coming, no excuse ever. You have, children being born to a child being born to Sarah who was over 90 years old. Are you kidding? You have almost a virgin birth there, okay? Giving you an example that the Messiah was going to come in such a way. And you still don't believe all the stories of David being chased by Saul, okay, during his reign, okay? You have David, okay, conquering Goliath. Didn't Jesus conquer the devil? And you still don't believe. You still don't believe, though. Yeah, the suffering Messiah, okay, and you have all the pageants of the prophets being suffered, and some of them even being killed. Jeremiah being thrown into a pit, Isaiah being sawn in two, Ezekiel's suffering. I mean, give me a break. Yeah, people that nothing was said wrong against in the Old Testament, like Daniel and Joseph. Not one word. Can you charge Jesus with sin? No. So that's just the deal. I mean, you have so many pageants and so many illustrations and so many parallel life illustrations of Jesus in the Old Testament that will make you blink. Okay? The judges. Yeah. I'm not talking about the sin, though. I'm talking about the wisdom of Solomon. Look how Jesus answered the Pharisees and Sadducees and scribes. And look it back, okay, at a story of Solomon, okay, which means peace. Solomon means peace. Well, where did he display such wisdom? Okay, such wisdom. Well, you see it right off the bat when Solomon became king. Okay, there was a woman who complained and whined and squealed. This is my child. And the other woman said, no, it's my child. And the other one said, no, it's mine. So Solomon said, bring them both to me. Oh, no, it's mine. All right, okay, give me a sword. Cut the baby in half, okay. Give one piece to one woman, give the other piece to another. And then now he did this because he knew that the real mom was going to say, no, give the baby to her. Give the baby to her. Just spare my child, please. And then the fake mom said, cut him in half. Go ahead. I don't care. Who cares? The wisdom. Shout. The wisdom. But Jesus said, okay, that even the glory, okay, of Solomon was not arrayed like one of these lilies of the valley. Okay? He said, one greater than Solomon is here. Okay? Gave you the illustration of the wisdom that was going to appear in Jesus Christ. Okay? There you go. The wisdom. Oh, I'll give you an example. You want an example of the wisdom of Jesus Christ? Okay? That makes Solomon look like a rookie. Okay? Well, now, Rabbi, we have a question for you. And Jesus said, okay, what's your question? We heard that you don't pay any taxes. Okay, should we pay tribute to Caesar or shouldn't we? Now they were tempting him because they knew if he would have said, okay, we don't pay taxes, well, they was going to accuse him. The Jewish people who say, oh, well, we didn't have any part of the death of Christ. Please, are you giving me the Pharisees and Sadducees weren't Jewish? You wanted to attack them all the time. Do you pay taxes? Yeah. And Jesus says, what? Bring me a coin. Okay. And they brought him a coin. Hey, now, it probably wasn't a coin of the temple, though, because they didn't have Caesar's image in those coins. But the thing is, well, give me a coin. Okay? Give me a coin. Whose inscription is this? And they said, Caesar's. What did Jesus say? Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's, but to God which is God's. That's it. They went away, marveled at his wisdom. Rabbi, I have another question for you, okay? All right? There was a woman, okay? All right? Had a husband, he dropped dead, and she had another one, and then all seven had her, at the resurrection, whose wife she's going to be? Okay. Hard one for the Messiah. They didn't know that, that the Old Testament prophesied that the Messiah was going to be wise, wiser than Solomon, And, of course, he said to the Jewish people, he said, you err, not knowing the scriptures or the power of God, For the resurrection, neither they're given in marriage, or taken in marriage. You know what I mean? You don't know the scriptures. You don't know the Bible. That's what Jesus said. I mean, these people had Bibles on their foreheads, I mean, they had Bibles wrapped around their little fingers, They didn't even know the Bible. I mean, that's just a deal. I mean, God is not the God of the dead, but of the living. He's the God of, he said, I am the God of Abraham, Abraham, Ishaq, Jacob. There you go. He's not the God of the dead, but of the living. You don't know the power of God. That's just the deal. I mean, you're all the time in the Torah. You have your nose on the Torah, practically on the page, and you still don't see the Messiah because, there you go. I was a stumbling block. There you go, as the prophet so stated. I have set in Zion a chief cornerstone, chosen and precious. There you go. Oh, that's it. Doesn't the Psalm say, kiss the Son lest he be angry and ye perish in a way? But wait a minute. Doesn't Psalm 2 say this? It says, the rulers set themselves against the Lord and his Christ and his anointed and his Messiah, though. You see? I mean, doesn't chapter 3 of Daniel say that I see the fourth in the fire with these three people, and the fourth is like the Son of God. There you go. There you go. Doesn't it say, out of Egypt I have called my son? Oh, but that doesn't mean son of God. It just means, Israel. Really? But I thought that Israel was delivered already, though. Why is it going to be delivered again from Egypt? It doesn't say I'm going to deliver my sons. I know they come from Alexandria, Egypt also, in the future, but still. It doesn't say I'm going to call my people Israel. No. From Egypt. No, it says out of Egypt I will call my son. My son. My son, though. My only begotten son. That's what it is. That's the deal. Doesn't it say in Genesis? He shall crush your head and you will bruise his heel. Isn't he saying that to the serpent? Through the serpent, to Satan himself? I mean, so many illustrations and pictures, in the Bible of Jesus Christ. In the Old Testament, I mean, it'll leave you stunned, Stunned. My friend lifted up his heel against me. There you go, the betrayal right there of Judas, right there. Of course. Not all the tribes stayed with the Lord, You know that there's many tribes rebelled. Okay. Okay. Some tribes to the north, some tribes to the south. You have a zeal, but it's not according to righteousness, though. You got a zeal, but it's not a godly zeal, though. I mean, even Paul says it, I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, you don't believe in the Messiah because you don't want to admit that you're a sinner. You want to admit that you're a rabbi. But I mean, it's the Jewish scholars that translated Alma into Parthenos, okay, and made it virgin, okay, because they knew that there was a sign going on here, though. This is the deal about Alma, though. There was a sign. Well, what's the sign? It's not pierced. You going to take that away from the Bible too? Okay. Now I know that the Alma, right? Okay, the young girl, is that she was going to have a child. But how come Jewish people, like the two nice Jewish boys and people like that, how can they believe in the Messiah? How can they believe that Jesus is Christ? Well, because the veil is taken away. That's the only way. And they admit that their works are nothing, and they're filthy rags. Now, and want to be called rabbi, but you must not be called rabbi. There is only one rabbi. Okay. You're all brothers. That's what Jesus said, and that's why you hated him, some of you, and put him to death. But he cannot be held by death, though, because he's the Messiah. He has to come the second time. They shall see him who they have